So, greetings guys, let me quickly start up the stream. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second iteration. That doesn't happen often nowadays. The second day of, continuing, finishing this tactical Space Marine Centurion, one of the coolest models that the Space Marines have to offer, at least in my opinion. I think they look fucking great. And I'm really happy to have got my hands on 3 of them. One of which we will finish today, as we are being accompanied by Gustav Holtz. Yeah, the planets. So, I hope you guys are all having a great time. A great, center of the week. I hope the week has been treating you good so far. And without further ado, let's just start. Alrighty. Whew. Spent the entire, in recent days I've been really productive when it comes to painting. Unfortunately, I've not been as productive in other regards. At least not to the same extent. I'm not even sure if I'm making sense right now. So I have been editing videos, but the video for this week is not finished yet. And I thought maybe I need to postpone the release of that video to Friday of next week. Not quite sure if I'll do that. I guess you guys will find out on Friday. Yeah. Which of course would also give me more time overall, because then my entire schedule would just be postponed by 1 week. You know. Which takes a little bit of weight off my shoulders, which is rather nice. Ooh. I hope you guys are having a great time. I hope you guys are having a great day today. On this Wednesday, the 2nd of July. The Americans will have their big day in a few days. In 2 days, to be exact. So I hope you guys are already stacking up on barbecue and fireworks. And, yeah. I will just quickly, as I'm talking, mix up a shade of yellow that's not as aggressive and cold as Flash Kit's yellow is, but a little bit brighter than Avalanche Sunset. I am rather optimistic, I am rather intrigued. I'm thinking about maybe painting another Centurion in a few weeks, just to test out another different painting scheme. But I guess we'll see that. Now, for now, I just want to detail and lighten up this miniature. And I think the coat of yellow that we have right now is not actually too bad. In the last stream I talked about maybe doing a second, like a coat of contrast of Imperial Fist yellow over the yellow that we've layered on. In the end I decided against that, just because of the brown wash that we used already. So I guess we'll just continue to layer it on. Hello, hello, says Twisted Nerves Painting. Hey, man. Oh, hang on. I just remembered you sent me an email. Right, I did have a look at it when it first reached me, but I've actually not looked at the pictures. So I think I'll do that on stream. Why not do that on stream? It sounded very interesting, the things you wrote me. So I think it's even might actually be a stroke of luck that I haven't had a look at it so far. How are you doing, man? How's life been treating you? How has the week been treating you? Hope you had a good start. As for me, I'm feeling quite exhausted. I've been painting the entire day with oil paints and loads of turpentine, so my apartment is quite, it smells quite like a nail salon right now. You guys even see that? Oh yeah, kinda. Whoops. And but yeah. Weather's rather nice. There will be a thunderstorm. It is should be coming in maybe like an hour or so. So maybe the stream will cut off then. Just because of, regular thunderstorm shenanigans. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Twisted Nurse Painting says, all is well here. Have been getting some work done, switching between projects from day to day for variety. Ooh, nice. That's good. That's always good. Hope you've had a good week so far. Oh yeah, I think I did. I think I did. Rather productive. Tomorrow is my last day where I can work on the painting that you might see in the background, the big one over there. Before the exhibition, I talked to my professor and she actually, which really surprised me, she said that it is already like at least good enough to be presented. She even went as far as to say that she doesn't even think that it, you know, needs to be necessarily finished, which really surprised me, but you know, at least she's happy with it. I'm just looking at the painting and thinking, alright, my diploma is in 1 year, and I'm by far not where I want to be. So, good thing I tried that now, and still have time to work on my techniques and everything. But apart from that, it's been a good week, yes. So... And just as you, I also switched the projects that I worked on. Bashak says hello there. Hey man, how are you doing? Let's go. How has the week been treating you? I hope you've had a good day so far. And maybe already are able to, you know, relax a little bit, as the week is already at its halfway point. Most of the hassle has already been dealt with. At least in terms of, you know, sheer time. Oh yeah, one thing happened this week, and even like right before the stream as well. My monitor, for some reason, my second monitor, doesn't want to project, you know, an image anymore. Doesn't want to produce an image anymore. Don't know what the reason is. I think it's just because it's quite old already. So after the stream, because now it's gotten to a point where I can't even fix it temporarily anymore. So after the stream is over, I will very likely be, we'll have a look at some other monitors that are out there. Shaq says, same old bro, I get notifications for your live streams in the middle of the night. Oh damn, yeah, is that so? You mean the other ones? The ones on the weekend? I kinda like this new schedule. So on the weekend I try to reach the Americans and people from, you know, the rest of the world, and every Wednesday I'll focus on Europe. I think that's fair. I think that's cool. And it's been also really good for the channel, so I definitely want to keep that up. Be warned, I did try to reach my grandma. I wanted to talk to her before the stream 2 times, and both times she was already on the phone with somebody else. So there is a good chance that I will have to stop the stream rather early to take a break, talk to my grandma, and then resume. Or I might even end the stream early because of that. But again, just as with the monitor, we'll get to there when we get to it. I chose sleep, I'm sorry. No, dude, you're completely fine. You're completely fine. It's like there's this Matt van Pressburg, who always comments on these streams when they're done, like the middle of the night ones. And he says, yeah, sorry I couldn't make it. And I'm just like, dude, I always say that I stream at 6 PM or 7 PM on Wednesday. Why would you even, like, how could you even anticipate that I'm streaming in the middle of the night? Just randomly. Hopefully you can an inexpensive solution. Oh yeah, I hope so too. So the second monitor I currently own is actually different from my main monitor. Not massively, but I think that, you know, my main monitor has been doing a good job so far. So I think I might get another one of these. Though it will be expensive either way, because the monitor I'm currently using is, you know, is a, basically, what do I say? How do I say this? I borrowed it from a friend. And now that it's, you know, its lifespan is coming to an end, I of course will not give him back the damaged screen, the damaged monitor. So I already told him that I'll be buying him another one as well. Of course, not a crazy one. I told him I won't give you like a 8K curved monitor or something. It has to be close to the monitor that I'm currently owning. Currently have. But yeah, so I will be buying 2 monitors either way. Which is unfortunate, but you know, can't do it any other way. Maybe I won't buy them like just tonight, but it is expensive either way. So yeah, if you needed a reason to subscribe and come to the yeah, and tag along on the channel, please hit that subscribe button or the follow button on Twitch. And supply me with ad revenue so I can... Nah. Just do that if you feel like it. Sorry. So... yeah, as I said at the beginning of the stream, it doesn't happen often that we continue on a miniature that we have previously painted. Because I always think, you know, what really is the point? I usually finish them off screen. But currently I have so many miniatures on my desk that I haven't finished yet. That I started on stream and that are still not finished. That I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this one miniature is actually, you know, actually warrants a second stream. Because before we, you know, the way that the miniature looked when we started the stream today, I think could hardly be just jotted down as finished or even close to finished. We literally just put down like 2 colors in the wash. Oh hey, nobody's here too, let's go. Interesting, I guess like YouTube had an update or something, because I see that you guys are like place 1, 2 and 3 of people who joined the chat today. That's interesting. Hey, one of my favorite Space Marine units? Yeah, the Centurions are just so cool. I really like them as well. They're such a pain on the tabletop, holy shit, dude. I'm so glad that my opponent doesn't bring them often. In fact, each of my opponents has only used like a Centurion like once each. But yeah. Let's not tell them that. Because, oh, they're such a pain to deal with. How was your week? Did the semester end? Yes, technically yes. We are currently now in the project weeks, they're called. Weeks where we have like special seminars and where we get a chance to visit classes that have previously been, you know, cancelled. So, for example, on Monday I had 2 classes which I visited. Sorry, which I didn't visit. But I did still have them. And there's also an exhibition going on Saturday, for which I've been in the university to help, you know, setting some stuff up and so. And that's what I'll do tomorrow as well. I have 3 3x3 units as well, goddamn. But I play them as Assault Centurions, we call them Punchy Bobs. Yeah, My boys don't use them as assault centurions. They use the ranged variant, which is already devastating. I literally would not know how to counter assault centurions on the battlefield. I have like one unit of Ogrins and that's it. And you know, being Space Marines, I'm pretty sure they will still be able to shoot it still, so... They look really cool, but I haven't included any in my Space Marine army yet. One day will, I'm sure. Need to clear a few things before the painting table first. Oh yeah, sure. The reason I've got those, so originally I bought them like as a present for a friend of mine, for JD actually. But then last minute I decided to give him something else, so now they've just been standing in my shelf forever. What do the crowns mean? The crowns? Do you mean these things? I don't know, dude. I'm not that deep into the lore. JD will probably know more than me on that. But yeah, good to see you here. Good to see you here. How has your day been? What was I talking about? No, I mean the YouTube XP thing. Oh yeah, right. That's what I was talking about just before you joined. Apparently there's been a patch or like an update on YouTube, and the crowns symbolize who was the first, second, and third person who joined and talked in the chat. So that's very interesting that they did that. Probably rather, you know, quote-unquote meaningless today, as I don't expect many people to join today. But, you know, it'll be very interesting once we've gotten more people here. Oh, wow, okay, somebody left. Hang on, Bashak left, I think. So now you're number 3. Interesting. So it's actually, you can actually inherit crowns after the person left. That's so interesting. All right. Huh. Didn't think that to be the case. Interesting. I'm Crown 2 and it was not the second person. I think the message amount. Every message is XP. Huh. That could also be true. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if I can customize that. That would be cool. That'll definitely be a project for the holidays. I wanna, if I find the time, because I do wanna finish my children's book over the holidays. But if I find the time, I would like to do some like emotes and stickers for subscribers. If that even is the case. Maybe the stickers and stuff are only eligible, like you'd have to be a channel member. Which I don't do so far. Because I literally have nothing to offer, you know, except the content that I have right now. Hey, Matt from Pressburg says hello there. Good to see you, man. I'm gonna be real right now, and that might be, you know, a little bit of a self-report and maybe even, you know, indicative of a already parasocial relationship. But I was thinking of maybe canceling the stream today because I have just so much on my plate, and today is like the last full day that I have to finish my painting. But then I remembered Matt commenting on the last streams that he missed. And I was like, damn, if I cancel the stream now, because I told him when the next stream was gonna be, then, you know, this, fuck, then that would all have been in vain and wrong information. So yeah, that was one of the reasons why I decided to stream today still. Whoops, a little bit of a self-report there. But I guess Google gonna Google, yeah. Oh, interesting. I was number 2, but my connection was lost. So it has less to do with the amount that you type. Interesting. Well. But again, I do think about making maybe some stickers and emotes, which hopefully, you know, subscribers or people in the chat can use in general. That would be cool. Happy to be here. Nice. Love how some people just start with yellow and see it build up piece by piece. We're all human. You want to stop the stream, then do so. No. It's fine. It's fine. I think I'll do like, because we're only gonna do like details and stuff today. Wait. Because we're only gonna do like details and, you know, touch-ups today. This stream will probably not be too long anyways. I'm thinking like maybe 2 hours. After which I'll still have some time to get my painting in order. And even more than that, like even if I had like another maybe 24 hours like of pure work time, the painting could be finished. But you know, just 1 more hour or even 45 minutes that I could get today, it won't make that much of a difference. Hey, nobody, are you the one who studied logistics? Oh, right. That yellow looks so grunge. Yeah. Built up from Zandri dust over Avalanche Sunset, with a wash of a Greg's Earthshade, and now a mix of Flash Gets Yellow and Avalanche Sunset over that. Though I should have probably taken more time to blend them properly. I don't like what's going on down here. But yeah. Also, once tomorrow is done, I will probably I'll call the post office, like the German post office of the DHL, because I do want to finally know how to set up a proper PO box. I'm done. I want to have that now. Flash is yellow. That's why it looks so neon. Oh yeah. It would look way worse if I didn't blend it with, like, mix it with Avalanche. Bashak said, "You were here when we talked about it, though. There was someone who was starting an internship for something." I think I know which, like, stream you mean. Don't know who that was. How's the Sterling General? The Sterling General looks like this so far. I haven't, I swapped the colors on his shield, and it took some time to catch, you know, the individual strands of his feathers. But other than that, and like the skull up here, but other than that, I haven't done too much with him. Except for some cleanup here and there. Simply because I don't have the time. Not really. That being said though, the Lathan Seaham from the 1 hour stream, that one I painted a little bit further. And that, you know, with this miniature I definitely realized that like high elves are probably not the best choice for a live stream just because they are so finicky. She looks better now? Yeah, I think so too. I think the black is really necessary for the shield of the Sterlander militia. I'm very intrigued to see how this will look. Because I have 3 Centurions, I can actually try out 3 different techniques of painting Imperial Fists. So this one is a classic layered and then wash approach. There's another one where I will probably just dry brush the yellow, just as I did with the Marines from the 24-hour stream. And there's also another approach, a secret approach, a crazy approach, where you paint the entire miniature pink and white, and then go over that with Imperial Fist contrast. That was a theory that I, like, that was a technique that I saw a few weeks ago, but just focused on just a singular pauldron of a Space Wolf. But I was thinking, ooh, that could also be like great for an entire Imperial Fist model. So I definitely want to try that out as well. Anybody else suffering from the heat? Oh yeah, definitely. I had to, like, I threw on this shirt just before the stream, you know, to look a little bit proper. And then I was setting up the rest of the stream and immediately took it off again. Just, you know, as a reflex. Didn't even think about it much. It is starting to warm up here again. Going to terribly hot by the end of the week. 41 Celsius. Damn. I think it's 36 or 37 where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah. 41 is crazy. Germany is suffering currently. The government already like issued like warnings for people in construction work and all that stuff. Because of the just extreme heat. I don't wanna know how the farmers are doing right now. That being said, there is currently a storm front coming up. Yeah, definitely. 32 is still fine. Not for me, dude. I'm from northern Germany. The hottest summers I'm used to are like 26 degrees. I will airbend our winds your way. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Bashak. Very neat. Same, bro. Yeah. It's just crazy. I'm gonna be going on a LARPCon later this summer. For like a week. And these cons are usually either completely rained on or complete like extreme heat. So I wonder what it's gonna be this time. I hope it's gonna be like maybe we can have something moderate for once. Because walking around in like complete plate armor with a chainmail under, as it is like 36 degrees outside, that's not like... You do that for maybe 2 days, but not for a week. That's also one of the reasons why Theinrich doesn't want to get any armor. Because it's just so hot. I really envy the barbarians who just, you know, walk around in their kilts without anything else on. They're just big chilling. Friend of mine is hardcore LARPer as well. He says the same. Always only either extreme hot or wet. Yeah. I don't know how this happens, dude. The only other LARP that I've ever, like, heard from that doesn't have either, it was a LARP in Siberia, like a Second World War reenactment. But, you know, they're just extreme cold in winter. So, I don't know if that's that much better. Especially not as you're reenacting to flee from the Red Army. So, yeah. Scave men don't need no armor? Yeah, right. But he... Alright, the wind is really catching up now. Skaven Man is... he is slowly warming up to the idea of owning more armor. So maybe I'll be able to convince him to get a chainmail on the next LARP con. I mean, even an aluminium one, right? Like, just for the optics, it's just so good. And of course, the actual degree of protection that it brings. It's not too, you know. Not to underestimate. Alrighty. Vash is here and says, greetings and good day. Greetings to you, man. Hope you're having a great week so far. Hope the week's been treating you nicely. Nobody says Brink of Art. I keep being amazed on your control of colors. Really? I'm not sure. I'm not so sure, man. I think I could blend it a little bit more. Maybe on the next one. I'll definitely do my best and blend a lot better on Lionel Johnson. Once I get to paint him. But yeah, thanks for saying that anyways. The school bus is coming along. Yeah, right. So I usually am not the fan of like the very bright Imperial Fist yellow. Because as you said, you know, school bus, construction workers, but I think, you know, construction workers would be fitting kinda. My god, okay, it's really... And the rain is starting, alright. Maybe I have to close the window soon. But you know, what do you want to do? He looked so brown before. Do you just accept the compliment? Well, you know what? Thank you. Yeah, you're right. You know, I'm as a streamer, I always have to stay humble. And as just a regular person as well, of course. So... What were we talking about again? I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I'll definitely put a lot more time and effort into Lionel Johnson. Which I think he deserves as, you know, proper Primarch model. Hmm? No, I didn't. Is it still in the kitchen, maybe? Ah, bingo. There we go. There's definitely a correlation going on with the way that I paint minis and the way that I paint paintings. Because I treat paintings a lot like I do miniatures, because I just am so much more used to painting miniatures that I don't sketch a lot beforehand before I get to painting. I just basically shape what I want to be on the picture, and then I'll just carve and model it out as if I was basically painting a miniature, which really, you know, helps me with 3D. I'm just so used of like seeing the light hitting things that's actually rather easy, at least as a concept. Of course, not in practicality so much, but you know, at least know what I want to do. So yeah, Warhammer has definitely helped a lot with my arts degree so far. Is there a chance we will see you and your woman paint minis? I don't know. Is there? Minleif? The chat is asking if there's a chance that you will paint minis together with me. Oh, it might happen, guys. What do we? Oh, what did you say? Oh, she said if we had 10,000 subscribers, then we'll make it happen. She actually has painted 2 miniatures. Once before she knew me. I mean, the temple guard you painted was quite neat. Huh. She's too humble. She doesn't want to paint miniatures because you know, she'd just clap me. It'd just be amazing. And then you guys would only want her to paint miniatures, and that's not sustainable. Not a sustainable business model. Yeah. Is there a chance we will see? Yeah. So I need to make 7,000 accounts. That would be a John Wick move, you know? A move of sheer fucking will, focus, and commitment. Oh no, don't do that. I've actually, you know, every time a YouTuber talks about, you know, the business side of things, I always am really, you know, very interested to hear that. I don't know if that's good etiquette though, so I'm always quite unsure and I don't talk a lot about it. But my goal from when I leave university is to have, you know, 10,000 subscribers, just because I think that has a good ring to it, and also, you know, would show that this is actually a possibility to make this happen, you know, as a proper channel. But then I recently did like the math, and even if I gained like 300 subscribers a month, which is insane. Currently I'm gaining like 42, but that's only because I'm currently able to stream so much. So that'll probably go back down to like 30 or 20 a month But even if I gained 300 a month, it would still take me like 10 months, like, you know, of course, 10 months for 3,000, and that would still not be enough for to reach 10k, not even close. So yeah. Get going on those 7,000 accounts. Well, I'm just trying to get to 300. I mean, yeah, of course, right? Everybody starts somewhere. I definitely remember the time where I couldn't, you know, believe that a video of mine got like 100 views in like a week. And now I'm at a point where if a video doesn't get 100 videos in a day, I know it's a bad video. Ja. Liebe dich, Spur. Ich liebe dich auch. I need to post more consistently though. Yeah, it is all about consistency and of course learning from each video that you post, you know, take away stuff that you can do better and be happy to experiment. But it is also a lot about consistency and just, you know, volume. In my opinion, quality is better than quantity. My favorite example of that is Soviet Womble, who brings out like a video every 4 to 5 months. And he also gained like millions of subscribers because he was just, you know, he's just so damn good at his job. And, you know, I'd rather too, of course, focus more on the quality than quantity. From what I saw on your channel, the speed painting ideas and tips are good. Oh, really? Thank you. I'm glad you think that. I'm glad it's working out. But yeah, there'll be a few more experiments that you will get to see. A few more projects that'll be a bit more otherworldly. And of course there will be a big change coming at the end of this year. As I will, next to making miniature content, I will also start some sort of like vlog, if you believe that, about my diploma. So I'll take you through the whole process, what I did, how the paintings are coming along and stuff like that. Because I think that's just interesting to see, especially if it, you know, especially if the result is good. And it's also a great way to hold myself accountable to do the work, to put the work in. Twisted Nerves Painting says, indeed, I'm getting close and it's very exciting. You have to start someplace. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, if you want, please type @Feinrich, @Hammerträger Heinrich, and repeat your message, because this son of a gun doesn't want to start somewhere. He always wants his first video to be perfect, which leads to him not following through with the video. And currently, he actually has time. He is actually between semesters right now, so he has time to work on his projects, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. That being said, he also has 3 channels, none of which are being taken care of. Excellent, that is interesting, that is good content. Oh, really? Well, I hope I don't scare off too many people, because, you know, it is supposed to be more Warhammer oriented. And I would have actually loved to do my diploma, if you want, a little bit more Warhammer oriented. And do like some proper oil paintings of like Warhammer scenery and stuff. But, you know, now that James' workshop is going so hard against fan art and stuff, I definitely won't do that. I'm just gonna write my own shit. And then paint that. But yeah, there will also be, of course, some miniature content, but... So, where I'm thinking that the vlogs should be, depending on, you know, how much I get done, once or twice a week. Not once or twice a week, bi-weekly or every week. The miniature painting content will be more like once a month, plus streams, of course. So yeah. Nobody says, at Brankvat, we gotta do the Dawn of War definitive version play together with the fans, though? Oh, really? I mean, that's a good idea. That is a nice idea. I'll definitely think about that. I'll come back to you in maybe September or something about that. Maybe not the September, maybe October or so. Someplace before the end of the 7th semester or something. Might want to think about a good time. Because it would be nice, like a nice milestone, right? To do a project with the fans. Maybe I'll do it at the end of my academic training. Yeah, it's probably the time it'll be released as well. Oh, really? Bingo. Alright, and as we have been just talking away, I think I'm actually done with the yellow. At least this coat of yellow. I do want to have a few more highlights with just pure Flash Kits yellow on like the most raised and interesting parts. I think that could look very cool. Emphasis on could, because I have no idea, of course. There is also going to be a little bit more. So if you guys don't know, I do actually have a second channel together with Heinrich, where at least he recently told me that he doesn't want to do it anymore, but at least I am putting on some gaming content just on the side, mostly just streams right now. So currently no major project there, but where did I want to go with this? Oh yeah, right. There are also, of course, going to be more Warhammer-oriented games, but then on that second channel. Maybe I'll also run a poll, I don't know. From my experience, even Warhammer-related gaming content on this, like on the main channel, hasn't been going so well and had actually the opposite effect than I wanted, because people started leaving. That's of course not what I want. I don't want to bore you, I want to give you great content. What's the second channel? The second channel is called, and you'll probably not find it, maybe if you type in Project Zomboid or something, it's called Trick Insane, or Trick 17 if you want, and you'd probably find it the quickest with Trick 17 Project Zomboid. Well, Warhammer fatigue may have set in the mainstream. Nah, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it at all. I just think that, you know, people come for the miniature painting and don't want to see gaming stuff. Which I think is fair enough. I probably feel the same way. I actually feel very much the same way. If I was subscribed to like, for example, Midwinter Minis, and he just started out of nowhere, like, doing some gaming content, I'd be also like, what the fuck? That's not why I'm subscribed to you. So yeah. Okay. It is coming along rather nice. Yeah, might be. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I think the rest is okay. Of course, here and there. There will have, like... okay, maybe not with this model, but usually I also do a little bit of cleanup afterwards. And I do need to take some pictures of the other miniatures we finished on stream, because I told that weeks ago that I'll be doing pictures and posting them in the community tab. Which today just was... Today I just recently released a post about some Deathcore of Creek, which I painted for a commission a few weeks ago. hope you guys like that. They're based on, you know, they're based of course, but they're actually based on an old speed paint of mine that I released, I think, like 2 years ago, just when the Death Core of Krieg came out. And I just followed that speed paint, but with other colors for that commission. Which, you know, worked out. I'm quite happy to see that my speed paints are still holding up. I like to check from every now and then. But again, another good example for my speed paints working out would be Glario van Alten. Like on the right is the original, on the left is the speed painting version, which is not finished. And the only thing that didn't work out on the left was the wash, because the current Nuln Oil is so much weaker than it used to be. Yes, Chunky Boy says Silver Turtles. Oh, let's go on Twitch. I was wondering why I didn't see you on my YouTube chat. Alright then. Silver Turtles from Twitch is here, everybody. I hope you're having a great week, my man. And yeah, the Centurions are just fucking chunky. I think they're perfect. I think they're the perfect embodiment of a Space Marine. And come as close to like the original concepts as possible. Which, speaking of concepts, the current stuff going on with GW definitely also made me stop, like put on hold my work for the Lord of the First audiobook that I currently did, audio drama, because that too will involve some animations, of course, and just don't want to risk it. It's a siege Space Marine. I think that's a super viable concept. Oh, definitely. A Terminator is basically nothing else. Oh, yeah. And I think, you know, this design I like a lot better than the regular Terminators. Don't get me wrong, the regular Terminators are great as well. But, like, this, if this was like a regular Terminator, holy shit. Like, even if you'd scaled it down to, like, a normal Terminator's power level, this would go so hard. Let's put some dots of bright yellow here and there. Just a little bit, we don't want to overdo it. Just enough to impact the overall paint job. Just get that extra little bit of depth. It's like highlighting with like, what's it called again? Runefang steel, like highlighting regular silver. You don't need much, you only need a little. This is what you will become when you want to be a Dreadnought, but you're not dead yet. Oh yeah. I'm gonna say, like, putting on a Centurion armor must be so fucking cool. Like, wearing armor with your regular armor underneath. Ooh. Like, you armor up and then step into some more armor. These guys are just walking tanks. I love them. I love them very much. I love them both personally, and I'm old school, so Terminators have the feel to me from 40k from when I was a kid. Oh yeah, of course. I love how they never got an inval save. They never did? Damn. I mean, it kind of feels to me that GW has somewhat forgotten that Centurions exist. Because, you know, you'd think you'd see them in the Horus Heresy. But that's not the case. So I don't know what's that about. Also, Centurions have never gotten their Primaris upgrade as well. So I don't know what's up with that. The Terminators did, so it's not not like they can say, oh, it's the armor and stuff. No. Terminators got their upgrade as well. Can you guys even see that one? Oh yeah. I rage quitted 40k when 8th edition came. You rage quitted during 8th edition? That's way too early, Matt. You should see 10th edition. 10th edition made me rage quit. Like, even 9th edition did. For me, I rage quit at 9th edition when, like, I heard that my faction, the Imperial Guard, finally was getting their codex. And then the codex was, like, already outdated like 2 weeks after when 10th edition came out. And I was like, what even is the point anymore? Same, bro. Not during, before. Even during 7th edition. That's even earlier, god damn. 8th edition, yeah. The suits never were in the heresy to begin with. Centurions were created... Oh, M38, alright. Well, in that case, that's just egg on my face then. I didn't know. That makes perfect sense then. Still doesn't, you know... Still, they could get their Primaris upgrade, but... Of course, Games Workshop can't do everything at once. The fact that this is also like a tactical marine piloting this and not a Primaris marine is also the reason why I'm giving him a Imperial Fist paint job. Because I wanna like put him in the in my own chapter, in my own custom chapter. But the Celestial Spears, that's the current name of my chapter, is Primaris only. So the only reason I can put some Centurions in is if I say, alright, the Celestial Spears, as I planned, are the successors of, like, are a Imperial Fist successor chapter. So maybe just for the Centurions, they've gotten, like, maybe a detachment from their father legion. The 8th edition ruined my beloved AdMag, where blasts were removed. Oh, yeah, right, there were blast templates in 7th edition, weren't there? When I started 8th edition, I accidentally bought a 7th edition codex for my army, so I was also rather confused when I finally read the 8th edition codex and was like, oh, hang on, where's the blast? All good? Oh yeah, no worries. I miss blast and templates in general. I think they make so much more sense for 40k than they did for like fantasy, for example. At least in my opinion. The only thing that, you know, made blast templates a little bit less worrisome were the fact that artillery and magic was just so volatile. Because otherwise, a single blast template can easily hit an entire unit worth of miniatures, which in 40k is of course a lot less easy to do because of the higher mobility of the unit and the freer stuff. The way that you can deploy them a lot more freely. Since then I get about 13k points of orcs and goblins. And now happy 18k points of dwarves for Old World. Damn. You very much might have even more points in. Like, the only reason why my army could even come close to that amount is because I'm playing High Elves and, you know, they're just expensive in general, points-wise. Goddamn, that's respectable, especially for orcs. Like, how many orcs does that, like, translate to? Like 20,000? Holy shit. 8k points of dwarves. Alright, that's a lot more manageable. Holy shit. Dude, if you want to play a comparison game of old school and 40k, we can definitely meet up. Ooh. I mean, that's a good idea. Heinrich and I actually had an idea of playing every single starter set because we just realized that we actually have every single starter set from like 7th edition fantasy to now Scaventide and AOS. And much the same for 40k, where we have Leviathan, we have Age of Darkness, and so on. So we actually are planning to do something like that. The question is just when we'll do that. There also might be a battle report coming in or at least a like battle stream coming during the summer holidays, if we can set up everything correctly. But that's a big if. Not gonna lie. So many good ideas, just so little time. I talked to my aunt a little, like yesterday. And I talked about like, oh yeah, I'm already working on this, and then I do this. And she also told me like, damn, you always seem to run out of time. Like the time is always breathing down your neck. And I'm like, yep. I'm trying. Trying really hard to make all of this work. Because this might be my only shot right now that I'm in university. Assault on Black Reach? Oh yeah. I've seen that set float around as well. The thing is, we want to do like the most likely option for us, like the easiest option for us, is to start at the newest edition and then just go backwards. Because of course we don't have like first or second edition sets, so you know, gauging by the popularity of that series, maybe we'll gain the funds to acquire those sets. But you know, we'll just see, we'll just see. Hopefully we can make that work, because we both actually really want to do that. From what I've seen of 10th edition, I hate the bloody terrain they did for tournaments. So silly and no effort. You mean 10th edition AOS or 10th edition 40k? Because I think the terrain, like, the one thing that I find to be rather cool is that the terrain is kind of like normed now. So everything is like crystal clear and measured for especially tournament players and competitive players. The thing is, though, I definitely do recognize that the majority of 40k enjoyers are not tournament and competitive players. So maybe that's like, for example, many FPS shooters and, for example, Overwatch have this problem where the developers only listen to the complaints and advices of the top 1% players, which actually is a very poor reflection of what the broader audience wants. That being said, I'm also pretty sure that Games Workshop doesn't listen to any fans. So. Oh, 40k, yeah. Yeah, again, I've seen 40k terrain. I think it's also like rather uninspired, especially now that I've had a better look at the older terrain sets. I don't know. I also don't like AOS terrain, like at all. I think it looks cool, but I think it's too much, if that makes sense. I'd much rather have like a little bit more toned down houses and watchtowers and stuff, much like we had for fantasy. And that's the main problem. GW is catering to a small part of players. Yeah. But to be fair, those are also the players that will buy like an entire army set, like an entire faction, just because their rules are cool. So maybe like in terms of business, at least short term, that's a good idea. I don't know. I don't know if it's working out for them. Being a little bit rough here, maybe too. For AOS, I don't see much point for the terrain. Doesn't look representative nor useful. Yes. I definitely think so too. And I think it's also like the pieces, like the first pieces for AOS that they brought out, like that Chaos Fortress, in my opinion, was fucking ugly. But I think the only lesson that Games Workshop took away from that, because I think like close to nobody bought that one, was, alright, we're just gonna focus on smaller miniatures, like smaller terrain pieces. Which I think was a bad lesson to take away from that. Like, of course, nobody wants to buy a huge-ass faction for like hundreds of euros if it doesn't look good as well. Like, come on. But yeah. It seems like just to exist. So the table is not empty? Yes. Yes, definitely. I'm also, like, I haven't read many AOS rules so far. Especially like the basic rules. I've of course had a look at the army books, but not like the basic rule set. Does terrain even give you any advantages anymore? Like in fantasy, you had like pages upon pages of what effects certain buildings could have on the map, from like just gaining classic cover all the way to, alright, this mage, if he sets foot in this watchtower, in like the magic watchtower, now knows every spell from the lore he's proficient in. Which meant, like, for example, for me as a high elven player, if I put my, like, put a lore master of Hoeth or even Teclis in there, that meant these wizards just had every spell from every lore in their roster. Like, they could do literally everything. Fucking overpowered if you do it correctly. Or at least very convenient, if not overpowered. In old school 40k, it was simple and effective. If you're in cover, you gain a cover save, easy, concise, and helpful. Yes. That's the thing. Like, those were the rules that I heard as well. So when people actually, like, when the Game Store Workshop clerk, we talked about the new AOS, the new 40k cover. When he told me, yeah, now it's all normed, so now it's actually easier to enforce like rules or something, because now you know, all right, when the model is behind this, it is always in cover, for example, right? So you could just look up what the tournament guys are doing, and then just copy that for your own homebrewed tabletop game. But yeah, now I think it's just gotten too far. Also, they're just so small. Where are the big, like, landing pads and the huge Hive City ruins? The only current sets in terms of buildings for 40k that I would get are the Necromunda sets, especially Hive City Secundus. Hive Secundus. I think that set is actually awesome. I really like that one a lot. That being said, Kill Team and Necromunda, of course. That terrain really rocks. That's cool. Peter Jensen says yellow Space Marine skits. Sorry, I can't do that better. I'll put the microphone a little bit further away. Yellow Space Marine skits. Yes, we are painting the construction workers of the Emperor. The Imperial Fists. Matt from Pressburg says, I would love to see if the defending of wall scenario will return to Old World. Ooh, that would be cool, yeah. I like that one. In general, I like the way that fantasy was handled all in all. Quite a lot. The only thing that I disliked were that you had to announce your attacks in as the first thing in the movement phase, which I think made everything very rigid and hard to get into, especially as a newcomer. And the other thing is like movement in general was very clunky, at least it felt that way. Like the last battle I played, I realized just how overpowered light cavalry is, just because of how flexible they were. So I put in like 30 or 40 Illyrian Reavers in my last army against JD. And just screwed with him so much. Because no matter what I did, I could still attack and shoot if I wanted to. I just dicked him around so much. He did catch me though. I overextended a little bit. He did catch my cavalry with his infantry. But then my lion chariot caught him, so I guess it didn't really work out in the end, after all. Twisted Nerves says, I agree, I love the Necromunda terrain. Quite a bit of the Kill Team terrain is really great stuff too. Yes. I actually, I was pining for so many Kill Team sets for so long. Like, starting with, Octarius, for example. And I was like, oh, that's so cool terrain, holy shit, when I get Like, and now that I'm finally getting into Kill Team, I was like, alright, the next set I'm just gonna buy, and then I have the terrain, and then I have the rules and everything. But I think the last set that they brought out, like the one with the Tau Wasps against the Aquilons, I think that terrain was really weak, so that actually stopped me from buying that, which might actually not be the worst thing in the world. Because again, I do have quite a lot already. That gradient you're doing is looking really good. Oh, thank you very much. You know, in some places it works better than the others, so don't look like what happens here, but yeah. Thank you very much. As I said previously, I'm not a big fan of like completely like neon yellow Imperial Fists, so the grunge effect we're currently achieving, I think, looks a lot more natural and nice. By the way, Peter, I think I'm seeing you in the chat for the first time. How did you come here and how has the week been treating you so far? I know we only have Wednesday, so 2 more days to go before freedom, but I hope everything is going well so far. Matt says, yes, but there's a reason for such movement. It's a large group of men moving in tight formation. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Like, I get the lore and, like, the realism behind it. But I think what actually happened, at least for me and my friends, is it oftentimes led to very, like, toxic behavior. Where, for example, when you were just a degree off, or, like, a centimeter short or something, like an inch, half an inch short of like attacking your enemy, which could actually like in some places decide the fate of an entire game. That just led to like toxic behavior, I think, at least, because it just led to frustration, it led to rule lawyering, and necessarily like didn't really help anyone. So I think the movement, at least for me, really sucked in was the thing that sucked the most about classic fantasy. That being said, it could also have just been a skill issue of ours, that we just couldn't get a hold of how the movement worked. Definitely possible as well. Alright. Twisted Nerve says, yeah, it wasn't as good as all the ship terrain from the previous season. Oh yeah, definitely. That terrain was also awesome. Peter says, the algorithm brought me here, probably after watching some model tank kit videos. Ooh, hell yeah. I do too much gluing and too little painting, so I'm absorbing your knowledge. Oh, thank you very much. In that case, I can definitely recommend the speed paintings that you will find on my channel, especially like in terms of newer content, quote unquote. I definitely recommend the Olinda speed painting guide that I did for the Night Haunt. A very cool Halloween project that I always highly recommend because is definitely one of my best videos so far. And otherwise, yeah, just, you know, have fun. If I have something on my channel that you like and you want to see more of, definitely consider subscribing. But even if it's just a one-time stop, I'm happy that you're here. And I hope you enjoy the stream. Nobody says, well, that's always what all players need to agree on. It's just a game and you're all having fun. Yeah, but, hang on. I always made sure everybody is on the same page. Yeah, but, like, especially with fantasy and the amount, like, just the sheer amount of rules that you had to deal with and had to follow, and, like, the way that stuff was written, like, the rule lawyering always came. And I think I can rather confidently say that, because we definitely did not have any of this in 40k. So I think it has to have something to do with the rule set. Or for some reason we're just way, like, for some reason hardcore fantasy players and only casual 40k players. Which could also very well be. Because we started playing fantasy when we were like 14 years old, 15 years old. And we were like going hard in being able to table our enemy and win the battle. So maybe that mindset just always comes back. Like old habits die hard style when we play fantasy. That could also definitely be. Peter says, that said, all I can think of is how an orc would climb in, hack and pilot this priceless piece of Imperial technology. If an orc would climb in here and get this thing to work for him, that would definitely not be an orc anymore. That would definitely be a krork. Like an old school orc of the old ones. And that would be terrifying. Alright, now we only have to do the upper portion of his armor. And then we're actually done with the yellow. Crazy. How long have we been streaming so far? 1 hour and 10? That makes sense. That makes sense. Matt says that's why orc players are the happiest players because... Oh yeah, definitely. Because they came to have fun, not to win, like those custodians. Yeah, definitely. Like, my mate JD is a custodian player. Like, he plays custodian and Space Marines. And he's a great chap, of course, but, you know, the mindset is a little bit different when you're playing with the Emperor's Finest. At least in my opinion. Especially when you actually lose against a bunch of dipshit guardsmen that just have 10 times more models than you on the table. Especially with, like, Valhallan tactics. That was so fun. Nobody says, I get what you're saying. I experienced Warhammer Fantasy Battles the same with the precise regiment movement, but it's still necessary to have everybody agree that you're playing for fun, not competitive, or somewhere in between. Yeah, no, again, I definitely get what you're saying. It just, I think it's harder to, like, you're more easily getting frustrated with fantasy than with 40k, at least in my experience. And this frustration just sometimes, I guess, you know, comes back and boils over to, again, like rule lawyering and all that stuff that nobody likes. And we know that, right? So we played Warhammer Fantasy when we were, like, basically kids. And then we stopped, went to 40k, and then, from the nostalgia, went back to fantasy and tried, you know, gave that a try. And although we were so much more mature, and although we were have gotten so much more casual with 40k, fantasy still just brings out the worst in us. I don't know what it is. So, like, my only cope with that is the rule set. Peter Jensen said... Hang on. If you focus on fighting in a galaxy full of fighting, then you ain't never bored, see? Then you ain't never bored, see? Not my best orc impression, but... You know, definitely got a file on that. But not too bad, I hope. And hopefully not too loud as well. But yeah. I mean, that sentiment, thankfully, is very prevalent of, like, orc players just being chill dudes. Matt says, I've played last D40k 9th edition with my Sisters of Battle and I'm an orc player, I don't care much. When my friend plays Tau, Eldaria Space Marines, the rage in their eyes, the hate. Yeah. It's kind of funny how that works out, right? Kind of funny how that works out. A rip boot to put that chopper on mid-shoulder in it. You sound like the Dawn of War Mad Dog with your orc voice? Oh, really? Haven't played that game so far, so don't exactly know what you mean, but... A bit rude to put that chopper in my shoulder in it. Sorry, should I try that in a British accent? A bit rude to put that chopper in my shoulder in it. Ah, probably bad British accent. Shouldn't do that again. The one what brings the fighting juice. Tabletop Radio says, hey there, just jumped in on my lunch break. Want to say hi, hope painting is going well today? It is. It is. The Centurion looks a lot better than before. And now I'm just thinking of what to do next. Maybe we should do the red next, just because it brings so much more color on the miniature. And I don't want to do, like, after all of that highlighting, I don't want to do the bolters next. I want to do something easy. So I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna take some word bearers red, because it already has like some brownish tones mixed into it. And then we'll do just that. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. Hope lunch is going well. Or rather, I hope you have a nice lunch and work is going well. That's a better way to put it. Yeah. Oh, Peter Jensen just subscribed. Hey, Peter, thank you so much. Holy shit. So glad I caught that. I still don't get the notification sound on, via my headphones. I want to ensure you guys... Oh, shit. Oh, Silver Tourist wrote more. I just was distracted. Oh, the Phalanx is the best spaceship. You mean Centurions are amazing? Who would have guessed that? Oh, damn. He's probably not there anymore. I'm so sorry. I definitely need to find a way to have YouTube and Twitch chat appear in the same window. Lately, I've just been ignoring the Twitch audience, for which I am very sorry. That's not what I'm here for. And finally, you see as well, what color will the helmet be? The helmet will be red as well. Because I think that looks just good. And by the way, now that Heinrich is here, you know what you have to do. Guys. Everybody write @Heinrich to tell him to get his act together and finally release the video. I'm weaponizing my community against my colleague right here. In good fun though, in good fun. Please don't ban me. Peter says, wait, so Centurion is not a dreadnought, a sort of fell of Space Marines after the Primaris stuff? No, a Centurion is... so, as somebody put it, a Centurion is a dreadnought. Like, a Centurion is an aspiring dreadnought. So the guy has all the abilities and the armor of a walking tank, but he's still alive. So basically, this bigger set of armor is encasing a normal Space Marine who's also wearing his normal armor underneath this armor. So he's twice as armored. Very much overkill. Oh yeah, and bingo, nobody puts it perfectly. Oh, red, I thought you were going for non-metallic metal, gold, brass. Yeah, no, that's not... I think that would be too... At least for the pauldrons. That would be too... like, might blend in too well with the rest of the armor. Like, might not stand out enough. So at least for those bits, for the pauldrons and the helmet, I will be going with, like, this toned down red. And, though I am thinking of, like, how to do these bits right here. So maybe those will be, like, all of the insignia and all of the ornaments. Those might get some non-metallic metal action. Centurions are very dope miniatures. They're very cool. Very expensive on Games Workshop. But sometimes you can find good deals, like this guy, for example, who I found on eBay. An entire squad of Centurions for 30 euros is quite alright. Oh, and talking about eBay, I just had to confess to my girlfriend that I actually bought another miniature. Quite a big one as well.
Only computer was buy whatever you want.
She already told me that she will now revoke access to my bank account for myself.
Don't talk bad.
Alright, no, she's completely fine with it, of course. But, so basically what happened was I saw a Cadian Valkyrie on eBay for 20 bucks. And I was like, 20 bucks? This ship usually costs like 60 or something. Alright. I'm just gonna put in 20 bucks. I don't know, you know, just for fun. Just to scratch that itch of getting more miniatures. And I didn't expect to win it, but apparently nobody else placed their bets. So after I just got basically just got the email that I got that Valkyrie. And after that I was like, okay, holy shit, why did nobody else place their bets there? And then I actually looked at the miniature to try and find if I got scammed or something, but no, it's just a regular Valkyrie, already built, already painted. Painted in a way that I will, of course, change. But, yeah. Whoops. Okay, right, where did we leave the chat? Nobody says, on the back of the Centurion legs, you should be able to see the Space Marine's feet, indicating that it is a suit in the Space Marine suit. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, holy shit, you're right! They totally are there! I thought that was just some armor plating, but no, you're completely right. Oh, that is so cool! Now I understand how the whole thing is constructed a lot better. That is so dope! That is so badass. So the Centurion armor actually is like just the front part, more or less, the gauntlets, and that's it. So on the back you see like some sort of exoskeleton. That's so cool. Yeah, I see exactly what you mean. That is so cool. Thanks for telling me. I probably would have completely overlooked that. If you think about it, Centurion is just an overgrown dwarf. Oh yeah. You can't pass up $20. yeah, right. And I was like, alright, probably I won't win it anyway, you know, whatever. But yeah, again, just got a great deal on a Valkyrie. Valkyries are badass. It was a good buy, your girlfriend will understand. She understands very well, you know. It's not like I actually have to confess to her, but I'm just like, hey. It's more a confession of my own sins. To God than to anybody else. And my girlfriend is my witness. For my confession. I have sinned. I've committed the cardinal sin of sloth. Not of sloth, of greed. Of greed and lust. Sorry. Where were we? That's awesome. Dude, search Vulture gunship. Imagine the 80s cartoon Magic Warriors. A Vulture gunship? Aren't those the one of the Inquisition? Not quite sure though. Did they give squads something equivalent of the Book of Grudges? Ooh, I'm actually not sure. Not as far as I have heard. That being said, the only squad lore that I ever got into was what Lewitton told me about them. And I think like one more video, so I watched like the 2 Lewitton videos and like another lore video. None of those, as far as I can remember, told about a Book of Grudges. But yeah. Now it's Valkyrie with a big engine and 2 machine guns. Ooh, alright, okay. That goes into the book. That goes into the book. Yeah. It's funny, right? I always regarded the dwarves with like rather high respect. I was like, alright, that's a cool faction. And I also quite liked actually the Book of Grudges. But at one time I like talked about it to my little brother. And he was like that's just child mentality. That's just kindergarten mentality. Like holding grudges, like every single grudge you write down in your little diary and then just make sure to avenge yourself, like avenge what they did wrong to you. And once he said that, I kind of, like, my entire look of the dwarves kind of shattered. I've come to crush, paste any foul nails that step into my path. Dearest. Yeah, the elven dwarven lore is actually rather tragic. I never liked reading about that part. As a high elf player, it is just tragic. And I think it's also, like, definitely in part the elves' fault as well. They could have just, you know, after their civil war against the emerging dark elves, they could have just went to the dwarves and said, hey man, so we just had this huge civil war. There's another faction of elves that would probably try and meddle in our diplomatic relations just to screw us over, so be advised. If some of our guys behave uncharacteristic for us, don't try to take it not too personally. Those are actually the enemy of ourselves as well. Like, one thing and could have been over with, right? Could have saved so much shit from going wrong. But no. Rather just, you know, when the dwarves come and try to pin you as a bad guy, just cut off their beard and have like a 100-year civil war or something. A 100-year war. Which you, in the end, actually fucking lose. Gonna hop off. Nice painting, it's coming together great. Let me know if you get the PO box established. Cheers to all of you. Oh well, cheers nobody. Thank you for coming in here. I'm very interested to see who will inherit your crown. And yeah, I'll definitely send you a message as soon as I've got that PO box finally established. That being said, you know, if there are people who don't know that yet, I did establish a PO box, but only for letters apparently. So I did establish a PO box via the DHL, and I paid for it for like a year. Like, you have to pay that stuff in advance. And then I went to the post office and I was like, alright, how do I address this? Like, how do I, when sending packages and stuff? And the clerk was like, no, you can't. You can only achieve, like, get letters in that box. And I was just like, why would I want that? Who has a PO box for, like, just for letters? Why? Doesn't make any sense. How many letters could you possibly need to get? Also, elf player? Non-distinct grumbling, yeah. It's actually funny because Theinrich, as you might have guessed from his name and icon, he is actually a dwarf player in fantasy. Like, he plays several armies, but he's, like, in our circle most known for his dwarves. At least I think so. So yeah, we definitely had, like, some sort of rivalry going on whenever we went head to head. That being said, I'm pretty sure he crushed my shit every time because his artillery is just so good. No shit. Hang on. I made a mistake over here. But yeah. It's like, I don't know if you guys know that scene from the Ahsoka Tano show, I think it is. When that one, like, Sith guy gets questioned and, like, do you miss the Jedi Order? Or something along those lines. And he says, I miss the idea of it. And that's definitely how I feel about fantasy. Because, you know, I definitely get nostalgic when painting and playing fantasy. Or rather, thinking about playing fantasy with my boys. But then I actually do get to play fantasy again, and then I just realize, hang on. This stuff is actually enraging. Well, dwarves, not hammers, get a bit nasty. As now they can have shields. Oh, they can have shields? Ooh, alright. Didn't know that. I should definitely pleased to hear that. Peter says, I feel I've been an Imperial Fist Space Marine player incidentally. They're kinda turdy, like dwarves, which is how I play all possible strategy games. Oh, you do the, do you castle up on the battlefield? Do you do the castle? I mean, defensive, you know, even historically speaking, the guy who defended always had the advantage over the guy who attacked. Like, even, you know, if it's like 100 guys defending against 1,000, defending is always better than attacking. Looks good? Oh, thank you. I think, yeah, let's hold the line strategy. Oh yeah. Even as a high elven player, like the staunch line of spears never disappoint. And as an Imperium player as well, like the strategies that you have and like the detachment rules and stuff for Imperium also favor a defensive play, which is which is why I also like to go second in any game that I play. Read anything about Caesar and great generals? They were all about sitting on the rush. Whoops. They were all about sitting on the good ground and waiting for the idiots to rush them. Oh yeah. Yeah, the entire Roman doctrine is basically, you know, at least for the Legion, like the tactics on the battlefield is all about defending. And then you read about stuff that Hannibal did and so on and so on. So yeah. Defense is always better. I also like to, like when playing chess, I also always play the black pieces if I can. Because I rather play it a little bit more reactionary than actually like aggressive. Imagine if dwarf fragments with pikes would return. That would be cool, man. I watched Shadiversity's video about like dwarf, like Fantasy Rearmed, he called it, a series, an old series on his channel, where he went about the best possible like armor and weapons for dwarves. And he, for example, said that the crossbow makes a lot of sense in terms of ranged weaponry. But in terms of like melee weapons, they wouldn't use axes, but they would definitely use spears, as you see in The Hobbit as well. Because they have to compensate the lack of range. Like, it's all about range, even in melee. So why would a guy who's already short take an even shorter axe as his melee weapon? Doesn't necessarily make sense. Elves don't need a chance, they have empty graves. Note it goes in the book. But yeah. We once planned like a Theinrich also played, for example, Lizardmen, and Lizardmen and High Elves also complement one another very nicely. Because they basically have the same lore of magic. And we actually found a way to make them really overpowered. And once we had an alliance fight where we said, alright, it's Lizardmen and High Elves against Imperium and Tomb Kings. And our enemy, so we actually had a fun army planned. We wanted to have an army of monsters, like as many monsters as we could take with us on the battlefield. So we had like Carnosaurs, Stegodons, and the High Elves had like griffins, eagles, and dragons, of course. So we had like a fun thing planned, like an unusual thing. And then our opponents came, and they said, oh, we thought it was High Elves and Dwarves against us. And then they bitched about it and said, no, our entire strategy is about High Elves and Dwarves. We don't want to fight the Lizardmen. And then we had to actually change the army. And then we created we called it literally, I think, the Fuck You 3000. Which was like the nastiest alliance of like the most min-maxed army of dwarves, of dwarven and elven engineering you could possibly think of. And then we completely just obliterated them. Our dice were also rolling very well, so I guess karma is a bitch. But yeah, so sad that we never got to use the monster army. We never replayed that scenario. Matt says dwarves have no reach weapons, no cavalry, no fast units. We have no actual magic to hide with. Yeah, but you do have the organ guns, and that shit is terrifying. I actually never saw a copter in a proper tabletop game as well. I think. I can't remember any copter having much impact, at least. What do we do now? There are a bunch of things where I'm not quite sure how to address them. Thynus says, dwarves have no reach weapons, bro. What do you think a gun is? I mean, he probably means like spears and pikes, right? He means like reach in melee. But yeah. Thynus also always plays the castle. Yeah. He just castles up and then shoots you as you come close. Like, I outrange him with a bow and arrow, but he outranges me and outpowers me with artillery so badly. Okay, Okay, what do we do next, though? Maybe I'd actually do now the bolters, because I'm not quite sure how to do the details. So I'll just switch to the bolters and try to get them done. Let's start on that with some Dawnstone. Dawnstone mixed with Ashen Grey. So do not go too bright too quickly. Let's see how that works. Because I kinda do like how he's turning out now. Like, I actually wouldn't be too upset if we actually did nothing more, or like not much more with all of the ornaments, because I think that the brown actually complements the yellow rather well. Don't know if, for example, a silver or gold would do that. Maybe we have to think about that more. Favorite Warhammer 40k weapon, and why is it Melters? Melters are really good. I underestimated them for the longest time, until one day where I packed them per accident. Like, I put them in my army by accident. I wanted to have a different weapon, I didn't know which it was. And then that Melter just shredded Space Marines. It also rolled very well, of course, so I'm maybe a little bit biased. But yeah, Melters are great. But I also like just regular guns. Like autocannons. Autocannons I always take with me. Like, my weapons teams never have like last cannons and stuff. Always the autocannons. So good. Daniel says, do you know what was so long ago and the board we played on was heavily biased in favor of long-range weapons? Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, definitely, yeah. Maybe I could have outflanked you with speed or something. Maybe I should have packed a dragon, I don't know. Maybe we have to play one more time. Matt says, I have an army of about 160 Thunderers. I have no problem at that, I just would welcome old tactics, shot and pike. Yeah, I get that. I also like the red trim, brings out the yellow more and doesn't make it too bright. Oh yeah, thank you. I think it works very well as well. That being said, this is of course no invention of me, but just classic GW color scheme. It's literally the box art on the back of the box for these Centurions. And this gray is actually not bright enough. Okay. Doesn't make too much of a difference. Ooh. Matt says you can put a terrain in the middle of the table as a watchtower or building. Yeah, we did do that. But, you know, when fielding 2,500 point armies, and I'm like obsessed with spearmen, units are always like, all of the units are always visible anyways, so the organ guns could really just pick their targets. I was terrified of those things. I never wanted to go near them. Like, not at all. We now play the old world on two more timetables, which turned into close quarter combat, where guns don't do much. That is also very cool. We once had a battle Imperium against Imperium. Like, our two Imperial players played one another. And I set the table in a way that they were playing in an Imperial city. So first they actually had to bash down the walls to get into the city and then take the streets street by street. Both players had to breach the city. Nobody started in the city. And one of our players basically had like a perfect hit in round 1 and was able to get into the city immediately. And the other player didn't manage it on turn 1, so he sat just outside the gate and couldn't do much. And on the second turn, his fucking cannon exploded after taking down the wall. So yeah, that was maybe a bit much. I shouldn't have done that way. Peter says, I admit I've never been successful in the wargaming part of it. The worst game I did was with my orcs was a killer can rush that immediately did absolutely nothing at the morale check. Oof. I mean, the worst game I definitely played was a 10th edition Astra Militarum against Space Marines. And that's because my friend, like, he knew the rules, he knew the edition, and he had, like, his army equipped with, like, the new toys that he got, basically. And And I was very old school. I didn't look at the rules that much, only the point values. So I was shocked when I saw that most of my tactics weren't in the codex anymore and not viable anymore, which is definitely a skill issue on my part. And the other bit was that, you know, I disliked the Rogel Dawn for the longest time, and I didn't see the use of one. Because I was like, okay, if I want to have... Why would I want to have a tank in between a Lehman Russ and a Baneblade? If I want to have firepower, I take the Baneblade, and if I want to have, like, not as much firepower, then I just take the Lehman Russ. Right? But then, he waltzed up to me with his Repulsor, which was, like, fancy high-tech, you know, his fancy high-tech tank. And suddenly, I realized very quickly where the Rogel Dawn comes into play. And yeah, so that battle ended with like 16 points for me, or like 17 points for me, and 56 points in his favor. So yeah, I can say that that didn't go too hot. This afternoon I'm working on the 40mm base for the Terminator Captain of the Leviathan box. Painting the dead Tyranid as half Highfleet Hydra and the Marine as a red Scorpion. Lots of fluorescent OSL. That sounds dope, dude. If you want, please be sure to send me another email, but I guess before you send me that one, a second one, I maybe have to review the first one, shouldn't I? If you want, we can do that on stream. I'd like to do that. Matt says, we applied a special rule where you can level down buildings when they get shot or heavily damage them with TNTs, killing everyone in a 1-inch radius. So we used mostly melee. That's interesting. That's cool. We didn't do that much, but we definitely used like the usual rules, and I made up some like rules on how to attack buildings, like even in melee. Like gave them a profile. So that sounds really cool, yeah. Maybe there will be some more terrain. So I did like a video a few years ago where I made an entire like terrain piece, like an entire house for tabletop with like the right measurements and everything from scratch with literally $0 in my budget. Literally €0. So I didn't want to spend a single buck because I hate when people do like tutorials and say, easy terrain, and then step 2 is like, now use your industrial grade laser cutter to, you know? I'm just like, no, dude. I want to make guides that are actually helpful for the average guy. And so I literally spent nothing. It was only made from like cardboard boxes that I got while ordering stuff, which I think everybody has. I also did it on the like 1st of January, so right after Christmas, so everybody had cardboard laying around. And like other rubbish that I found. I spent nothing. So maybe I should do more of that. I do have some more terrain ideas. Maybe I should focus more on that as well. I like the idea of slapping a drugged up goblin on a murder can though. I mean, definitely. I really like the, you know, the concept of fanatics and fantasy as well. Terrifying beasts. Oh. So I was afraid to go near goblins. Near the night goblin units of Theinrich. Because I always was like, oh, what if he has a fanatic in there? And yes, guess what? He always had. Terrifying things. The Tattooed Zoologist is here. Hello, everybody. Hey, man. How are you? How's the week been treating you so far? I actually think one of my progress photos of this base is in the email. Oh, really? Okay, cool. Nice. Again, I'll definitely have a look before the stream ends. And if I don't, just spam in the chat. If I forget. The gun edges are looking really great, incidentally. Good stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Need to see if that actually also pays off at the end. With the flat sides, I'm actually not quite sure what to do there. Maybe a little bit of a gradient. Like this. Make it just a little bit more interesting and appealing. Just like so the flat panels actually have some interest as well. Garner some interest. Some of my favorite terrain I made from trash? Oh, definitely, yeah. Steinrich's dad actually made a lot of terrain for us to play with. So it was, you know, it was Steinrich's terrain that his dad made for him. But then, you know, we all got to use it, of course. It's very cool. Still have that. So Steinrich basically was like, as a kid, he was like, alright, I wanna, you know, start with Warhammer and stuff, and I'd like to have some terrain. And his father basically looked at the prices for the terrain and was like, alright, that's too much. I'll just build that myself. And his watchtower is actually very close to like the original proper watchtower from Games Workshop, so he did do a good job. Used that to the fullest. Matt says, I refuse to use cork as stone in my opinion, looks horrible. Just a slate stone is so much better and helps stabilize the mini with more weight. Easy to find outside. Well, maybe where you are. For me it's actually raw. I guess that's not particularly true. There is a quarry nearby. But from, you know, my hometown it would actually be quite difficult to find one. I used cork in my, like, as the base for my Eldari miniatures. I agree if you want to use like cork for the entire miniatures you stand on, that's not so cool. But it can be very nice for just, you know, some rocks laying around. I like cork is what I want to say. The Tattered Zoologist says all good. Great. Great to hear it. Hope it keeps being good. Good afternoon at the Tattooed Zoologist. That's the best kind of terrain? Yes. That was very cool of his dad. Now let me adjust the thing. That sinking feeling when my dad was the only one interested in soccer. Right. So all the other dads helped with Warhammer, or what am I to gather from that? Oh, I see, like the only one in your family who was interested in soccer. As for that, my family is like not interested at all. We only watch soccer when you know, EM and WM, like when the World Cup is. Hello, Twisted Nerves. Painting, hope you are well. Nice. The chat is just full of familiar faces. Ain't that nice? I think that's very cool. That just, you know, means I'm doing something right. Is gray even visible? Oh yeah, okay. Meanwhile, fucking Bizet is cooking. Holy shit. Love that music. I loved this piece as a kid, and then recently I found it on YouTube and I was like, oh damn, I need to definitely put that in my mix. Ooh, by the way, are you guys getting served ads on the stream? Because I turned monetization off. But I'm wondering, you know, just because you're not monetizing doesn't mean you guys don't get ads. So please tell me about that. Because I can't verify myself. Where is my gray tone? What? Hello? Dawnstone? Hello? I've got admin gray here. Oh, there it is. What? There we go. I have ad block. Ah, nice. Haven't seen any ads yet? Okay, bingo. The tattooed zoologist says nearly finished 128mm models for the last large battle scene. Right. At the local museum. Hell yeah. Not to get weepy, Lamau. I just never had anyone in my family who shared my interest in the fantasy models and junk. I mean, same. I tried to get my family interested in it, like my siblings. My sister played one game that she was quite bored with. I think it's kind of sweet that she did, even though I guess she knew she wouldn't like it from the get-go. And my little brother, definitely was into it at first. Until he played his first match, and we were kind of dicks to him, definitely. Which is where he lost interest in it completely. Yeah, for which I'm very sorry in hindsight. Definitely shouldn't have done that. Though, the man that he is now probably wouldn't have any interest in tabletop anymore. Anyways, so. Yeah. Just unfortunate how that went. No ads here. Bingo. Okay, nice. But yeah. My father always said, in terms of Warhammer, as long as because I just put in so much effort and so much time, he was like, alright, son. As long as your grades are not deteriorating, you can paint as many miniatures as you want. And that's how we ended up here, so be careful what you tell your kids. Well, what do you know? There's always a chance if they won't start elves. I mean, he started with the Imperium of Man. He started with the Imperium. He was our third Imperium player. And he had quite the cool army. Because my family basically knew nothing about Warhammer. Like, of course, how would they? Realistically speaking. And so my aunts and uncles were like, alright, he's interested in Warhammer, let's just get him cool miniatures. Which is how he ended up with like 9 demigryphs. So, pretty good start. That is exactly what my dad told me. That is exactly what my dad told me as well. Bingo, there you go. We all are living the same life, after all. Similar lives. Good start, that's a doom stack. Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was. Or rather, it definitely is, yeah. But again, we ruined it, and I definitely fought myself for that. Could have been, could have been so much cooler with him around. But we were just assholes because we were only like 15 and 16 ourselves, so. Yeah. I was an asshole. I didn't explain. Like, we had an alliance fight. We had an alliance fight with 6 players. No, with 5. So our 3 Imperium players against High Elves. No, actually 3 players as well, so 6 after all. So 3 Imperium players against High Elves, Tomb Kings, and I think Lizardmen it was. Huge battle, 12,000 points in total, insane. And basically I told my brother that he has to read the rules himself, because that's how I, read it. And then we basically refused somewhat to help him out. Like, not necessarily refuse, but we asked him, like, okay, what do you want to do next? And then he said, yeah, okay, I want to do this. And instead of saying, okay, that's a bad idea, maybe you should do this, we said just, are you sure? And then he made a move that completely, for example, ruined his army composition, for example, And then, yeah, that wasn't fun. Especially, I was 16, which means that he was like 12 or 13. So yeah. Definitely definitely dick moves from us all around. Though, you know, I guess his alliance players were also shit because they didn't help him out either. But as his brother, you know, I definitely have to take the blame here. Where were we in the chat? My dad saw it as art and encouraged any expression of art also. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, my dad did as well. I mean, my family in general is rather supportive of my endeavors with art and Warhammer and YouTube. They also watch all my videos, which is why I'm, you know, keeping it very civil, and another reason why I want to produce high quality content, because, you know, I want them to see my videos and think, oh wow, that's cool. And aside, but are there armies you don't have yet that you want? After playing Darktide, I quite like the Nurgle Traitor army. Maybe in 6 style? Are there armies that I don't have yet that I want? I think the only army that I would like to have is... I always wanted to have Bretonia, and now I actually have the chance to paint them because I met a guy who has like tons and tons of Bretonia and never painted them. So he just gave them all to me to paint, because I was like, alright, I'm gonna do videos, and you get them painted for free, because I really want to paint Bretonia. So it was like a win-win for everybody, at least in my book. And but after I'm done with them, I'm rather sure that I'm probably done with Bretonia. And other than that, I think Cathay is very cool for Old World. So probably the Cathay box, when it comes out, might end up in my hands, depending how expensive they are, of course. Otherwise, I'm actually rather good with Games Workshop armies. That being said, I do have a shitload of them, right? I have a bunch of Wood Elves, I have hundreds of High Elves, I have Imperium till the cats come home, I have Space Marines, I have Astra Militarum, I have Tomb Kings, I have fucking everything. I have a bunch of Knights. I have Magnus for some reason from the Thousand Suns. So yeah, I have way too much. Like, I can't justify like anything anymore. Got a bunch of Eldari. I got Talida Vedra from the Cities of Sigma. It's just too much. I think I need to stop. My thirst for more armies has been quenched so far. At least that is what I thought until I saw Cathay. So, damn it. So yeah, please keep subscribing, guys. I would like to have more justification to get more armies and paint them on here under the pretense that hopefully I'll be able to do this full time in the future. And by the way, that hasn't helped either. So when I started with this YouTube channel, trust me, it became increasingly easy to justify buying miniatures, because I was like, well, it's on my channel, right? I'm going to paint them on my channel. And then I ended up with a bunch of minis that I haven't painted so far, which I bought at the channel's inception. So yeah, a dangerous game. Love the yellow on the model. Oh, thank you very much. It's not as stark as the as many box art of Imperial Fists, which I think is the right way to go about it. Not like that the neon yellow is any bad, but I think it looks just too much like construction workers. I want to have it a little bit more toned down. Bingo. My first game of Warhammer Fantasy was Dwarves against Skaven. We ended up second turn as my cannon shredded one unit, spreading panic through the whole Skaven army. Yes! Happened to me as well. So, I started Warhammer Fantasy Battles with the Battle for the Blood Island starter pack, Skaven against High Elves. And it took years for us to finally, start a proper battle, because either one of us had a lot to do. I I did play, you know, other people and other friends, but my first army against him was basically the same. So I borrowed the Imperium army from one of my friends to play against his Skaven. And the same thing basically happened. One unit got hit in like the very first turn actually, so we didn't even get past turn 1. So his army was still sitting like right at the edge of the table. I hit one of his units. The guy died, like a single unit, leading to panic, which led the first unit to flee from the battlefield, which led to more panic, which led to the rest of the army basically fleeing from the battlefield in turn 1. And that is where we said, okay, maybe the Skaven are underpowered. Like, that was some major bullshit. Quick game, quick game. Could drink a beer right after, quite nice. Batman's Kitchen says, hey, how are you doing? Quite alright, quite alright. Steam's stream is going rather well. Thanks you guys. Thank everyone for showing up, by the way. Don't take this for granted at all, so I want you to have my thanks. Especially with all the engagements in the chat. Really helps the stream. And me. Like, not only the stream as an abstract entity, but also me as a person. Don't have to talk to myself for the entire time like a lunatic. The Cathai minis are beautiful. Oh yeah, they definitely are. Like, when they were revealed, like, when they came out actually as a faction for Total War Warhammer 3, I immediately thought like, alright, now, you know, the developers have already done all the models for Cathay. Games Workshop only now needs to just cast them basically, right? Translate the 3D model into proper kits. And that's basically exactly what they did, and the models look damn great. Really like them. Will definitely get myself the box. I think it's just inevitable. And then I'll actually try to paint them as fast as possible. Because, you know, can't have my pile of shame grow too much more. Otherwise I lose all respect of for myself. Cathay is pretty much... hang on. Cathay is pretty much the same as Imperium, and the box is about the same price as other battle boxes. Yes, I hope that. I hope that to be the case, and I hope that, you know, with third-party resellers, retailers like Kutami, for example, in Germany, you get an instant like 15 to 20% off Games Workshop price. So that'll probably, like, hopefully be a good deal. I really hope they won't overprice it. Same with the second edition for Horus Heresy as well. I'd really like to get that box as well. Shouldn't probably... oh. Too many miniatures. Whoops. Twisted Nerves Painting says, ha! I have Magnus on my table at the moment. I have no other Thousand Sons, just wanted to paint Magnus. Pretty much the same, dude. I'm still infatuated with the concept of miniature makeovers and eBay rescues. And I saw a Magnus for like 80 euros on eBay a few years ago. And now it's slowly getting time for me to finally paint him. Revitalize that model. What pisses me actually off with my Magnus is that, you know, it's an eBay rescue candidate. So you can probably imagine that he doesn't look that good. He looks very decent, don't get me wrong. But he also doesn't look good at the same time, at least not for my personal standard. But because he is just a big ass model with like impressive wings and everything, it just, you know, everybody who comes in my room is like, wow, that's such a cool model. And I'm just like, ah, fuck. It's not one of mine though. Don't pay too much attention to it. Really show on my end. Alright, we're done with Dawnstone. With the diluted Dawnstone, so now we're going to go over to Administratum Grey and just pick out some nice, like, highlights. Just as we did with the yellow, basically. Matt says, I have like a Marathi on... I have like that, like a Marathi I own for 4 years, still in process, 3rd times repainted, and no motivation to finish her. I feel that so much. Like, damn, dude. I definitely feel that. I have that, like, when I spend too much time on a miniature or like a project in general, I lose interest after like a week, usually. And it becomes really hard for me to finish stuff. My god, Heinrich. What are you sending me? What could you possibly be sending me? I'll have a look right after this. And, so yeah, it gets just really... So when a project takes long, for example, all the videos I'm editing right now are projects that I've finished for months. Absolute months. Like the last video that came out, that miniature has been done since May of, like... No, since September of last year. For no reason, because it was a speed paint, you know, it was really quickly done as well. And then I just haven't had time to edit it. And even if projects just are idly laying around, I just can't get the motivation to finish it. I don't know what it is. But glad to hear that, or at least glad to hear that you're facing a similar problem. Hang on. Shit, I didn't get that comment, oh no. Aw. Sorry. I missed that comment. Maybe you can put that in again? I didn't get it on my screen. I only saw it disappear in the window of the stream. Ooh, talking about miniatures that I would like to get, I actually would like to get the Horus Heresy Fulgrim. I think that miniature looks just amazing. Very, very cool. I think he looks way better than 40k Fulgrim. His only, like, manco is that he's made out of resin, which I think is a tragedy. And that's, like, the main thing keeping me from getting him. That and, of course, like, money and space and dignity. Because you know, with every miniature that I buy, it becomes harder and harder to look myself in the mirror. So yeah. Maybe I actually have to get in here with some white to do like these last highlights. Not quite sure. Or rather, well, I'm getting surer by the second. Okay. It's so hot, dude. The weather has been crazy. I think it's actually so unfortunate that the only time where I have time to properly like do videos and stream and stuff is like summer break, which also results in me just sweating my butt off. So unfortunate. Same with the 24-hour stream from a few years ago. God, was that miserable. Just so hot. Thanks for the applause. I do it, of course, for you, but... Oh. So difficult. Not difficult, but like, ugh. So wet after every stream. I'm still thinking about what I would possibly do with his ornament, with the ornaments on the Centurion. So, for example, with this, with these laurels, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe we can paint those green, and the skull maybe in white or silver. But I think, like, looking at the model as it is right now, just having the gray, the brown, the red, and of course the yellow, it is already like a nice balance. And I'm thinking like anything that I do would possibly disrupt this rather nice balance. So I'm actually playing around with the idea of just leaving him like this, like leaving the ornaments brown. Of course, maybe the parchment down here should get painted probably. Not quite sure. Not quite convinced of anything yet. Peter says, incidentally, there's a gigantic thunderstorm coming up here into Scandinavia. And if I, and if I run, it's because I'm paranoid about my very expensive computer parts. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Something I relate completely as well, completely as well. Every time there's a thunderstorm, I also turn off my PC. Like, I plug it out from the wall. Unplug it from the wall. We just had a... Yeah, well, our storm was rather mild. It's already over. Didn't do much. We're actually very lucky. Like, I think the way that we, like, where we live, place where we live, oftentimes gets spared by, like, the worst weather. Because that, for some reason, only decides to come down at the next big city over. Like, our village always gets spared. Or usually gets spared. And if we're not getting spared, it's, like... one hell of a storm. So Peter, you're from Scandinavia, you say? Which part? There are 3 possible options. And I think a few streams ago I had somebody chime in from Norway. Which was rather crazy because it was 5 AM for the both of us. He told me that his kid woke him up. Which was rather funny. Danish Mark. Alright, you're from Denmark. Very cool. Love Denmark. Used to go there as a kid. And a few years ago went windsurfing there. I like it. Very quiet. I had to take cover a few days ago. We had a tornado touchdown not far from me. Very strong storms. Holy moly, dude. Dang. Okay, that's of course something that we don't really experience here in Germany. I once had a guy from America tell me that Germany is actually like an atmospheric war zone, he described it. It's the guy from Geography Now. And he said in his video that, you know, we, in the summer, we can have like tornadoes and everything. But I'd never, like, I don't even remember any talk of tornadoes in the summer, like, for all the time that I've lived here. Like, my entire life, I've never heard of anywhere in Germany having a tornado. But maybe they just don't get reported on, could also be. Well, we didn't have a proper thunderstorm for years, so some small that ends in like 20 minutes. I mean, sure. I mean, oftentimes it's also not about the longitude, but also the, not the time, but the intensity, right? Peter says, screw tornadoes. I'd never go back to a tornado zone after the first one. Holy shit. Dang. I mean, I definitely get that. Holy moly. I like how so many people in America are just like so casual about it. Like, oh, there's a tornado coming, alright. I'm gonna just go in the cellar. Okay, dude. Wanna do like anything else? No, don't need to. Okay. Like, I'm from northern Germany and I'm used to wind. That doesn't mean I'm like, I would ever just be so calm about a tornado. But I guess those people are just built different. Could you please highlight that edge? Excuse me? Alright. Oh, I actually forgot to highlight this part of his armor. The left, or, you know, depending on which way you're looking at it, the right exoskeleton hydraulics. I guess links don't work. Ah, yeah. For some reason, YouTube prevents you guys from sending in links, which is rather unfortunate. It's not me, it's the auto moderator, and I can't turn that off. I've already looked into that. I think you can send me links via Twitch, but, you know. YouTube doesn't want anybody sending any links. Maybe not even to other YouTube videos, though I have not checked that out yet. But links that lead off the platform are definitely not allowed. By the way, if you look, if the pilot is in the armor, how wide shoulders he has. I mean, hang on. These are his legs, like the legs of the pilot. So this is his head. So his shoulders are... Yeah, there should be like here, right? Under here. Yeah, and the rest is just extra. So cool. I love big shoulder armor. I just love it in every setting. Like World of Warcraft also has some of the coolest shoulder armor I've ever seen. Looks so good every time. It's sort of StarCraft 2 armor. Yeah. Absolute displacement. Nah. Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So cool. I just love the vulnerable shoulders in Games Workshop. That is also like with knights, for example, as well. And of course, the Saturnine Terminator armor. So, you know, they could have been bigger in the miniatures. The Tattooed Zoologist said, gotta go, take care everyone. Take care, man. Thanks for chiming in. Thank you very much for chiming in. And I actually have to, hang on. I think this is better. I think. I don't know. Don't die of heat stroke? Oh yeah. But no, that's not... It's not that bad. Though my girlfriend has a tough time. Because her work requires her to be outside for all of her work hours. Like most of them. Yeah, I mean... Okay, she says she's only working half days. But you have to also think that she has to drive there and come back. And her car doesn't have AC. That's... Hmm? But your car doesn't have AC. Ah, it still doesn't make it any better. She's the breadwinner of this relationship. We're living a very modern life. The red highlight works great. Thank you, man. I am definitely playing around with the idea of taking some Mephiston red just for like edges and stuff. I definitely think I should do that on the helmet at least. But looking at the time, it's already 21:20. So 20 past 9 p.m. And I think that's where I have to call it quits. We still have a lot of people watching, and I want to thank you everyone for chiming in. But, you know, I promised my girlfriend to have a nice evening with her. Oh, Collector Ed just chimed in on Twitch, saying howdy. Hi, man. Hi and bye, I guess, because it is the end of the stream. I'm rather sorry. But yeah, this is what we did today. The Centurion looks great. I am very sure that I won't take this Oh damn! Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. But hey, I stream every Wednesday around this time, from 6, usually from 6 to 9 p.m. CET, and I also stream every like weekend another time from on the weekends from 2. Nah, it's usually 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. CET. So you know. But thanks for chiming in anyways, even if it was for just a short time. But yeah, what I want to say is that this Centurion is, I consider to be finished, you know. Or at least finished for the stream. I think if I do anything with him, it'll be off stream. And the next Centurion we will have on here will be just another base model, which I want to try paint in a different way, because this boy did take a lot longer than I thought. This guy took now a cumulative, I think, around about 4.5 to 5 hours, which I think is appropriate for a model of this size. But I think we have to be... Yeah, okay. My girlfriend raises the point that I also talk alongside, but still, it took like around 4.5 to 5 hours on stream. And I think we can do it a lot faster with a very similar result, which is what we want to try in one of the upcoming streams. The next stream, I'm not quite sure what we're going to paint. I think I'll put it up to vote, so look into the... Oh, Collector Ed just followed me on Twitch. Hey, thanks, man. That's so cool. Hello. Thanks for chiming in. So cool. Thanks a lot. I'm glad that these few seconds have already convinced you. But yeah, I'll put it up to a vote on the YouTube, what's it again? Community page. So definitely check that out. If you want to see, no, not yet camera. If you want to see something else after that. Love that work. Ah, thank you, man. I'm also, you know, fairly proud of this one as well. Worked very nicely. What did I want to say? Alright, I need to cut it short. Next poll in the community section on YouTube will decide about the next miniature we're going to paint. The next stream will be on the weekend. I don't right now know which day. I don't think it'll be on the Sunday. So maybe it'll actually be from Monday to Tuesday next week. And then another one on Wednesday. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll tell you all about it as well in the community section. And apart from that, you know, if you want to see more after that, I have an entire channel on YouTube. And other than that, I hope you're having an amazing evening. Twisted Nerves Painting says, have a wonderful evening with your girlfriend. See you next time on stream. I forgot to go through your emails. I'm so sorry. I'll do that right when you're here the next time the stream starts. Hmm? Oh, my girlfriend says that we can do it now. Okay, you know what? Let's do it live. That'll be our last action of the day, because Twisted Nerves Painting, such as every one of you are of course invited to, can send me emails or DMs via Instagram, showcasing me your work and what you've done, and I will of course happily look over it either on stream, or you know, if you really want to, you know, off stream of course as well. Where is your email? That's all. No, that's not it. Figma, Twitch, Google. Ah, bingo, Twisted Nerves Painting. Bingo, there we go. Alright. Let me save all of them and then let's go ahead. Well, have you a nice evening. Thank you. That's very kind of her. Yes, I know. She's so supportive, right? Won the lottery with her. Alrighty. But yeah, in terms of miniatures, what do you guys want to see? I mean, I can hold a small poll right now, just to gauge what kind of miniatures I should put up as the stuff is downloaded. Let me do this. Ah, that poll. $30K is awesome. Start. Alright, the poll is now live. We have 12 concurrent views. Good hustle, have a nice night. Thank you very much. Ooh, alrighty, okay. I think we're getting some really cool pictures here. Let me have a quick look. Where are they? Where did my program save them? Come on. They're in the downloads folder. Ah, there we go. Alright. That'll be just a general genre. Which kind of miniatures it'll be, I'll of course disclose in the community section. That is a sick-ass rattling sniper. Hell yeah. Love the vegetation on the base as well. Like the base work is impeccable. I suck at doing bases, so that always impresses me when people do that. Hey, also a very old miniature. This looks like Finecast or something. And then let me have a look at the other miniatures. Yeah, that was a great sniper. It did save it in kind of a weird manner. So let me actually go through the email. Ooh. So he did talk about being like some sort of silversmith, and that is one of his rings that he did with an opal in there. He's an old metal rattling. Wow, okay, so from way back in the day. Good job on him. And a sweet ring as well. Very cool. Nice reference as well for painting. Thank you. Can always use those. And then we have... Ooh, let's go. Are you El Miniaturista, or what is this kind of painting? Holy shit, dude. These are some sweet scarabs. You have a plan on painting zombies, says Collector Ed, who I still hope is still on Twitch. Yes, I do. Painting zombies is actually my first speed paint I ever did. And you can find that on YouTube. The Dead Walker Zombies. I think it's a good video. It is quite old, though. And it also is not exactly a speed paint. It still will take you quite a lot of time, but the result is rather good. And if you want, I can go over painting zombies in the next stream as well. Which, you know, you can see the entire VOD then on YouTube as well. I'm happy to help with anything. So we can actually paint zombies in the next one if you want. We'll take a look. Alright, man, sure do. Hope it'll help out. But yeah, scarabs are insane, dude. Very bright. Love the lighting on this one. He is my teacher? Who? Oh, El Miniaturista. Alright, get it, yeah. I mean, I definitely see that in your work. That looks dope, dude. Is that dry brushed or airbrushed? Either way, it looks good. Looks very good. El Miniaturista is also my inspiration for, like, and my muse for OSL lighting. Do all my plasma weapons like him. Oh hell yeah, there we go. Bingo. That could straight up be from El Miniaturista's work. What a sweet Ogren. Goddamn. Shield, of course, being detached. Nice base. Nice stuff over here. Oh hell yeah. The blocking in of the armor and of the light sources. Hell yeah. Oh, airbrush? Alright, okay. Fair enough. Looks good. Yeah, I can definitely see what where you get, you know, that you take his courses. And very well done. Great result. He's really a great teacher. I get coaching every Friday. Have for about a year. Ooh, nice. So he actually got his painting plan. That's cool. Good for him. Good for you both. Even Matt says it looks dope. Yeah. Definitely does. Very cool. Very cool. Definitely wanna, you know, get me a slice of that when I paint, when I'll paint my Lionel Johnson. But yeah, all in all, sweet work. Definitely also incredible glow up from the Ratling, although he looks good as well. Like, he looks very good as well. And yeah, thank you so much for sending that in. A little bit of a speed run today of that. But thank you so much for, you know, sticking around. I hope Collector Ed will find something nice on YouTube. I hope my speed painting guide will still hold up, especially after all these years now. Especially considering the production of that. And other than that, I will finally release you from the stream. Let me see in the poll. It looks like you guys really want to see some more 40 or 30k. Oh, with AOS being a strong second. Alright. I'll take that into consideration and I'll present you the options in my community section. Instagram. Oh, hey, you sent me Instagram? The 12 things. Thank you for showing my work. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Oh, you've sent me one thing. Alright. Let me quickly pull that up then as well. Okay, one last thing. This happens like every stream. I say like, alright guys, I'm gonna go off now, and then I just drag out the thing forever. Alright, let me... Oh, let's go. A nice penitent engine from, you know, on Instagram, Minis to Paint. Let's go. Sweet. Oh, damn, that's that marine down there. Let me have a closer look. It's a sweet... Wow, look at this. Look at this thing down here. Look at the non-metallic metal action. Oh, hell yeah. Beautiful engine, I do agree. Oh, nice, the other... Oh, look at the liquid down here. I think that's liquid, right? That looks dope. Oh, for the flamer, of course. The way you paint liquid? Damn, dude. Never got around to do that so far. That is really gorgeous. It definitely is. Good job, dude. Thanks for sending that in. Thank you so much. I love that. Great engine. So, again, you know, that's why I love doing this stuff, because you guys are always, you know, you guys always have great stuff to show. Thank you very much. Yeah, Liquid is amazing, beautiful work. Oh, definitely. Like, I definitely recommend doing some more candy shots of those things, because Instagram will just love that. I'll love it as well. So, yeah, building community. Oh yeah, but you know, I'd do it even if it was just a one-time thing, right? I just love it. Right, guys. Thank you so much for staying here. What is this? A stream not at 3 AM? Says the Inquisitor in the last second. Yes, I do stream like so the Wednesday is for the Euro bros, the weekend is for the Americans, like mostly, and people who can't sleep or have to wake up early. I think that's fair. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for staying around, especially during this extremely long outro, for which I guess I'm quite sorry. And why am I not the #1 top fan? Oh no, you are, but you are, don't worry about that. But YouTube, I think this is just, you know, who's currently the longest watcher of this particular stream. I don't know, new patch, don't know that either. I'll also say it see it for the first time. Have a nice evening, y'all. Stay safe, healthy, everyone. Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, take good care of yourself. Have fun painting. See you around. Bye bye.